Hello, everybody. This is Nisha Parveen, representing Trade Promotion Council of India, and I welcome you all to this exclusive Food Frontiers episode series. And today we have with us Mr. Deepak Agarwal, founder and CEO of Auric, a beauty and wellness food brand based on Ayurveda. Auric is revolutionizing the health beverage industry by harnessing the power of Ayurveda to create convenient and effective drink options. With a passion for promoting wellness and a commitment to equality, Deepak is leading Auric to new heights, making Ayurvedic principle accessible to the modern audience of today's India. In today's discussion, we will dive into Mr. Agrawal's entrepreneurial journey, the inspiration behind Auric, and how the company is shaping the future of health focused beverages in India. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation. We are happy and excited to have you.
Thank you so much, Nisha, for having me here, and thank you so much, TPCI, for inviting Orin to this discussion.
So, sir, I think without waiting any further ado, we can start with the discussion.
Sure. I can quickly introduce myself. Deepak Agarwal, founder and CEO at Auric, spent 10 years working with Unilever and then started Auric about 6 years back. The intention was very simple to make wellness easy for busy lifestyles with Ayurveda, and we are doing that through foods and supplements. That's what our forte lies in, and that's what we have been doing, not only selling in India, but also outside India in US, UK, Canada, Middle East, Australia, etc.
My very first question to you, sir, is Auric has positioned itself uniquely in the health and wellness market. Can you share the inspiration behind establishing Auric and your vision for the brand when you first started?
So actually, the journey of Auric actually started with a backbone fracture. About 15 years back, I suffered a backbone fracture, which led me to physiotherapy. When physiotherapy did not help me, I turned towards yoga, and 5 years of yoga actually cured me. And I thought if yoga works, maybe Ayurveda should also work. And that is how I got introduced to Ayurveda. During this entire experience, I started looking at how different types of people think about their own health and wellness as an industry. And two important things came to my mind. The first thing was that people inherently have a distrust on pharmaceuticals. They do not trust the pharmaceuticals, and therefore they are slowly and slowly going back to old ways and ancient ways of healing their minds, bodies, and soul, which is why Ayurveda and yoga became extremely important for me. And the second insight was that people want to be healthy, but they are not able to become healthy because they do not have time and energy. So, therefore, if health and wellness can be made easy, then people will be able to easily adopt the lifestyle and the practices associated with that. These two insights came together to become Auric, where we are using the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda to make wellness easy for busy lifestyles.
Good to know that. And as Auric offers a wide range of Ayurvedic beverages and wellness products, what is your process for product development, and how do you ensure that these products align with modern consumer needs and preferences?
A very good question. So the first thing is always to understand what the consumer wants. And therefore, we do a lot of social media intelligence. We do a lot of consumer research that help us understand that this is what consumers are looking for and this is the need space. Once we know that need space, then we try to understand what is the value that Auric can add into that need space. And the third thing is to understand what format of consumption would the consumers prefer. And that is how our entire process of product intelligence to product development happens. Now, in this process, for example, we came to know that hydration is very important for people, not only in India, but also outside India. And at the same time, it is extremely difficult for people to carry beverages all over the world. And therefore, we innovated by making a simple dissolvable tablet. which you put it in a glass of water, it will dissolve in less than a minute, and then you drink that glass of water. And that tablet has a bunch of Ayurvedic herbs, the botanicals and bioactives, which are great for smokers, which is great for cholesterol, which is great for weight loss, which is great for sexual wellness. And when you have these kind of recipes, then people are able to take a complex 10 to 12 herbs in an easy, convenient way, and at the same time improve their hydration as well. So this is the kind of product information, intelligence, and development that we do whenever we are innovating.
Thank you so much. So, as a direct to consumer brand, what strategies has Auric implemented to capture the millennial market? And how do you differentiate your offerings in a competitive lens?
Right. So a direct to consumer brand essentially means that we are able to reach out to the consumers directly without having people in between. Technically speaking, this was supposed to be only the sales that happen on your own website because you get access to the end consumer. But the definition of D2C in India actually involves the entire e-commerce in India, which involves other e-commerce platforms like Amazon. Now, Auric personally believes that at this moment, the wellness industry and the supplements industry has a low penetration, which also means that most of the consumers of this industry are first coming to online for discovery, for understanding what is right, what is wrong, and for their own research. When they make their decision, that's when they give their trust to a consumer brand to try that product, which is where being a D2C brand is extremely important for us. Today, more than two-thirds of our sale comes from our own website as well as Amazon in India as well as outside India. And we keep that very important to us because it gives us an understanding of what consumers are thinking about us. What kind of hooks work for the consumer? What kind of marketing works for the consumer? When we speak to the consumer after the product is received, we come to know the feedback from them, what they're liking about us, what they're not liking about us. So that's the beauty of being a D2C brand, that you're so close to the consumer that you're able to understand what works and what does not work for them. And hence our marketing is focused towards social media, be it Google and YouTube, be it Meta, Instagram and Facebook. So we are entirely focused towards that to be able to bring consumers closer to Auric.
So, as you are in the wellness industry, I hope that you must have faced some major challenges, since founding Ori. How have you navigated those challenges?
I think the biggest challenge in the last 6 years was, of course, pandemic. And during pandemic, the entire supply chains were disrupted throughout the world, which essentially means that even though there was demand, it was difficult to fulfill the supply. That was a supply-led challenge that happened in 2020, where the demand skyrocketed specifically for wellness products. But at the same time, the supply wasn't keeping up pace with the demand. And at that moment, we had built in a very flexible supply chain structure where we tried to understand how can we reduce the production times from the design to the development and from the purchase of the raw materials and packaging material to the final quality approval of delivering the product. So that was one set of challenge that has happened. The second set of challenge has been how the consumer is evolving a lot in the last couple of years. Now, till about 12 years back, it was difficult to find consumers who would shop online. Then about 4 years back, people were consuming a lot of products online, but they were not asking for 10 minutes delivery. And now for the last 1.5 years, people are asking for 10 minutes delivery. Now, as a D2C brand, it is important for us that we understand where consumers are, where the distribution structures and foundations are being laid, and we are always ready to service the consumers where they want us to service. And that adaptability allows us to make sure that we are always at the service of a consumer. These has been the two challenges for us that we have been able to navigate through flexibility, agility, and adaptability.
So, given the rise in consumer interest in holistic health solution, how is Auric innovating within the traditional framework of Ayurveda? And are there any new product lines or concept that you are particularly excited about?
Understood. So our innovation comes from how the consumer preferences changes. For example, Live 52 is a brand from Himalayas that has been present for a couple of decades. What we realized was that today's consumer is waiting for a prescription from a doctor to consume Live 52. However, it's a dietary supplement which is safe to use. So why does the consumer have to wait for a prescription? We innovated on the format. We converted our liver detox into an effervescent tablet, which reduces the barriers for the consumer to enter into the liver detox category. Now, today, most of the consumers either have a genetic history or the today's lifestyle of junk food uh, leads to cholesterol, or today's weekend schedule leads to alcohol. And all these three things make a consumer susceptible to a liver issues, which is why liver detox is necessary. So we understood the trend, but we also understood that why a traditional product is not being consumed by the consumer. So we innovated on the format. A second example was on the ghee category. We realized that as the consumers are becoming more and more health aware, they are wanting to premiumize their offering of ghee that they're consuming because they have a distrust on the traditional brands of ghee. And therefore, they're asking the traditional brands of ghee what is the source of milk. And slowly, they wanted to move from a crossbreed cow to a traditional Indian breed cow like Gir, Sahiwal, Tharparkar, which is also known as A2 milk. Therefore, we innovated on that and we started working on a ghee made from A2 milk through a traditional Ayurvedic process of Bilona method, which is also known as the curd churning method. Now, this is again a new consumer preference. In the last 4 years, consumers have decided that ghee goes in most of the things that they eat. Therefore, the ghee needs to be of good quality. It cannot be the crossbreed of cow. It needs to be an Indian traditional breed of cow as mentioned by Ayurveda. And that's where the innovation comes in to keep up with the consumer preferences. And these have been two examples on how we have been able to deal with the changing taste of the consumer. In terms of our future pipeline of innovations, we strongly believe that the dietary supplements as a category is under-penetrated in India. It is just 8%, which means only 8% of the households are consuming supplements in India. The same number for a country like US is 80%, which means a lot of innovation is going to happen on the supplement side to be able to convince the Indian consumers to move across the table and start consuming supplements. That is where our entire focus of innovation is. And we are working on different kind of ingredients, be it KSM 66, a type of ashwagandha, be it cholesterol, which is derived from milk. These are the kind of different innovations that we're trying to do in this space.
So I'm sure that a lot of customer must have been giving feedback, and as you said that you do, market research and intelligence to know what your consumer preferences are. So how do you, incorporate consumer feedback into your product offerings? And can you provide an example of a product or services that was significantly influenced by customer insights?
Right. So there are two ways we are able to understand what the consumer is looking for. One is a direct channel of communication where our team is speaking to the consumer and we try to understand their preferences. The other way is an indirect channel of communication where we are essentially looking at social media, our own brand assets, and trying to understand how consumers are interacting with our brand assets. Right from the views to the clicks to the comments to the likes to the purchase behavior and things like that. And these two data points help us understand how our marketing communications, how our packaging, how our product formulations need to be adapted to the changing taste of the consumer. A simple example is when we launched our liver detox product outside India in the US, we received feedback that the product is lovely. I love drinking 3 liters of water, so I'm now able to make my water less boring by adding your tablets to it, and I can drink that, sip it throughout the day. It is helping me to reduce bloating. It is helping me to reduce the symptoms of an inefficient liver. But at the same time, it is not clean label. We want you to make a product which does not have any stabilizer, for example. Now, the reason why we added stabilizer was because in a cross-border trade, we wanted to have a 24-month shelf life, 18-month shelf life, and things like that. Now, that is the kind of feedback that we received from the American consumer. And now we are working on to make a product which is 100% clean label. And by the end of this year, we will be able to launch a new version of the same product, which is 100% clean label. Now, this is the kind of feedback that we would not have received if we were not present in D2C. And that's why we feel close to the consumer and we are able to take their feedback, go back to the drawing board, make the changes, and then come back stronger as per the feedback of the consumer.
That is amazing that you're actually, incorporating the feedback of consumers. So, looking ahead, what are your aspirations for Auric over the next, 5, 10 years, and how do you envision the brand evolving in response to the industry trends and consumer demands?
Aspiration is very simple. France is known for fragrances and wine. Italy is known for fashion. Switzerland is known for chocolate and cheese. What is India known for? India is known for its IT professionals. India is known for its spices. India is known for its wonderful cuisine of food. India is also known for yoga and Ayurveda. I want to take this Indian brand to the global shores of the world. I want to make sure that there is a brand which is built on yoga and Ayurveda, which is bringing wellness into the daily lifestyles of the people all over the world. That is what our ambition is, that is what our aspiration is. And we truly believe that in the next 5 to 10 years, we will be able to mark a mark for us at a global stage in the global wellness industry, where we can proudly say that this is an Indian brand which is bringing an Indian traditional wisdom from India for rest of the world. That's what we want to do.
Very beautifully answered, and it's beautiful vision to take it global. So I think we are at the end. So I want to thank you again for accepting our invitation and take your time out of your busy schedule. So it was
All my
lovely.
pleasure.
It was lovely interacting with you, know about Auric and how, as India, we are doing in herbal and wellness products. Thank you so
Sure.
much, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Thank you so much. Have a good day.